Hey everyone, welcome back to Nerd Society. Today we're diving into the world of Invincible to talk about the most terrifying and powerful villains in the franchise. From ruthless conquerors to cunning masterminds, these villains have pushed Mark Grayson to his limits. If you love Invincible and superhero stories, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite villain, and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Now let's get into it. Powerplex. One of the most significant villains in Invincible is Powerplex. Originally known as Scott Duvall, he wasn't always a villain, but rather a victim of tragedy. After his sister died during a battle between Invincible and Omni-Man, he developed a deep resentment toward the young hero. This hatred pushed him toward a path of vengeance. Duvall became increasingly unhinged, stealing experimental technology to gain the ability to absorb and redirect energy. He orchestrated crimes to lure Invincible into a confrontation, believing he could exact his revenge. However, in a tragic twist, his wife and son became collateral damage, and in the heat of the moment, he accidentally caused their deaths. Consumed by grief and rage, he blamed Invincible and spiraled further into madness. Omni-Man. Nolan Grayson, also known as Omni-Man, is the first major villain in Invincible. A Viltrumite, part of an alien race of world-conquering warriors. His mission was to dominate Earth and convince his son, Mark, to join him in this conquest. When Mark refused, Omni-Man nearly killed him in battle, but surprisingly, his love for his son made him stop. Later, Mark reunites with his father, who has started a new life on the planet Thragg. Omni-Man eventually becomes an ally and one of the key characters in the series. However, this doesn't erase his brutal past, including his massacre of the Guardians of the Globe and the countless innocent lives lost in his battle with Mark. Battle Beast was once the guardian of his home planet, but after countless battles, he developed an insatiable lust for violence and set out to find a worthy opponent strong enough to kill him. First appearing in Invincible number 19, Battle Beast easily defeated Invincible and the Guardians of the Globe, sparing them only because he considered them too weak to be worth his time. Although his thirst for battle makes him appear as a villain, Battle Beast eventually worked on the side of good by joining the coalition of planets. However, his true motivation was to satisfy his bloodlust during the war against the Viltrumites. Throughout the war, he faced off against the Viltrumite ruler, Thragg, in a brutal battle that raged for weeks and spanned 5 issues, one of the longest and most intense fights in the entire series. Sequids. The Sequids are a collective mind of creatures that, when attached to a host, can take control of their mind and add them to their army. The Sequids were first discovered on Mars, where the Martians were able to contain them due to their shape-shifting abilities. However, one of them escaped by latching on an astronaut Russ Livingston during a failed space mission. The Sequids posed a major threat to Earth multiple times, even infiltrating the Guardians of the Globe and the US government in their quest for total domination. Through Russ Livingston, the Sequids easily recaptured Mars before being defeated by Invincible. Yet, they returned once again to attempt to dominate Earth, forcing Mark to take one of the most drastic actions of his life to save the planet, a major turning point for his character. Angstrom Levy. Imbued with the power to open portals to alternate dimensions, Angstrom Levy brought hundreds of duplicates of himself from across the multiverse and attempted to combine all their knowledge into his own mind. However, Invincible arrived just in time, stopping the experiment and severely disfiguring Angstrom in the process. This left the villain obsessed with seeking revenge on Mark, making him one of the most terrifying threats Invincible would face. It wasn't just Angstrom's considerable powers that made him dangerous, but his willingness to target Invincible's loved ones without any moral hesitation. He could trap Invincible in a desolate desert for weeks, or create an army of evil Invincibles to attack Earth. With Angstrom, as with the multiverse, the possibilities are endless. Conquest. As a Viltrumite warrior marked by past battles, Conquest became known as one of the Empire's greatest champions, never failing to conquer a planet. When previous attempts to discipline Invincible failed, the Empire sent Conquest to eliminate the hero and his planet. The result was one of the bloodiest battles in the series. Conquest nearly killed both Invincible and Adam Eve, devastating the heroes in combat before being barely defeated due to an unexpected power-up from Eve at the last moment. She burned part of his body, but Conquest continued to fight, surviving just after that. In his revenge against Invincible, the two pushed each other to their absolute limits once again, and the brutality of their battle is so extreme that I can't even show the uncensored images here on YouTube or fully describe what they did to each other. Dinosaurus. At the intersection of reason and brute force stands Dinosaurus, a concept so bizarre that it's hard to believe it works as perfectly as it does. Essentially, Dinosaurus is a reference to the Hulk, where his human alter ego, the unambitious David Anders, transforms not due to anger, but because of indifference and boredom. Though David is uninspired and principled, the superpowered lizard Dinosaurus is driven and has principles that verge on psychosis. Many of his schemes are attempts to save the world, but by endangering countless lives to achieve his goals, he takes things too far. Ultimately, Dinosaurus proves to be a valuable part of Invincible's story because he forces the hero to rethink his approach to superheroism. Anissa. The conflict between Mark and Anissa, one of the surviving Viltrumites, begins when she attempts to force Mark into dominating the planet, but it escalates far beyond that. Anissa is a pure-blooded Viltrumite, struggling to accept Thragg's plan of using humans to rebuild the Viltrumite Empire. She despises humans and refuses to mate with a man from Earth, so she decides to pursue Mark Grayson, even though he's already married to Eve and clearly wants nothing to do with her. Sadly, this doesn't stop Anissa, and she forces herself on him, leading to a deeply disturbing scene where she assaults Mark. It's uncomfortable, highlighting just how heartless the Viltrumites can be, and it adds yet another layer of trauma to Invincible's growing list. It will be interesting to see how Amazon adapts this part of the story. Thragg. Though Angstrom Levy may be Mark's Joker, he wasn't the primary villain of the series. That title belongs to the Grand Regent Thragg. After claiming the Viltrumite throne following the death of his predecessor, Thragg ruled for thousands of years, overseeing the Viltrumites' expansion across the universe and their conquest of countless civilizations. Thragg was the most powerful among them, proving it time and time again. Not even Omni-Man was a match for Thragg, and the Grand Regent was so powerful that initially, Invincible's attacks barely fazed him. Thragg's accomplishments included defeating Battle Beast after a multi-day battle, planning his species' survival during their most desperate hour, and raising an entire army with his own children, nearly reclaiming the Viltrumites' position in the galaxy. Robot, also known as Rudolph Connors, is one of the smartest individuals in the Invincible universe. He was the leader of both the Team and the New Guardians of the Globe, saving the world countless times. Things change when he and Monster Girl get trapped in the Flaxen Dimension while trying to stop them from conquering Earth. Robot becomes the Emperor of the Flaxen Dimension, ruling with an iron fist for 1,000 years before returning to Earth. Once back, his lust for power leads him to try to rule Earth as he did in the Flaxen Dimension. He traps Invincible in an alternate dimension and kills anyone who threatens his rise to power. His plan succeeds after making a deal with the Viltrumites, sparing him from Invincible's wrath and keeping control of the Global Defense Agency. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more content. Your support really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.